We live? We are live for the pilot episode of I'm Walking Here. How's it going, folks? I am your host. My name is Miguel, and I'm starting this live broadcast, hopefully recurring thing, idea that I have. Everybody has access to YouTube. Everybody can be a star. I don't know why I cannot be a star. Not trying to be a star. Just trying to continue to put more opinions out into the world. Additional opinions. Right? Everybody has opinions. Everybody knows what they say about opinions. What the saying is. I'm just another guy with another opinion. But I've been doing a podcast for the last year or so. I haven't been doing a very good job, but I have an I'm Walking Here podcast available on iTunes and Google Play. And I've managed to just kind of mess it all up because of my random rants and whatnot. I'm gonna try to use a different medium, these live broadcasts, try to express those opinions in a different way, because if I'm just wandering around aimlessly talking to nobody, I have difficulty expressing myself clearly. And what I found is on these types of broadcasts here, I managed to express myself a little better. So what I'm hoping to do with this broadcast is to kind of open up a channel, if you will, an opportunity, not only for me to express my opinion. I mean, I would like to be able to go live on a regular basis, and man, I hope this stuff is coming through. I didn't even test my equipment before we got started. I go live on a regular basis. Maybe I'll have a topic to talk about. Maybe I won't. Maybe somebody will comment, and we'll just, and I'll express my views on a subject that comes up spontaneously, either via chat or in a conversation that came up. But what makes this different, I think, is that my objective, my aim in expressing my opinion is not necessarily to look. There's enough politics in today's world, and it just seems like today you're either on one side or you're on the other side. And if you're not, it's it. You're either on one side or the other side. And for me personally, I don't feel like I'm on either side. I'm on my side. And that doesn't necessarily seem to be the case nowadays. But I feel like there are more people like me who have similar opinions to mine. But either way, this is just going to be a way to kind of get my message out, whatever it may be. And I hope it to be. My objective is to make it as positive as possible. I understand there's a potential for there to be conflict and disagreements or whatever. Like, I'm inviting all kinds of negativity possibly by doing something like this. But I invite people to express themselves in whatever way you see fit. All I would ask is that, if we can keep the name calling to a minimum, that would definitely be appreciated. Because it's my experience that once the name calling comes up, that means there's a whole bunch of emotion involved, and once the emotions show up, well, good luck making your point. Good luck to anyone to make any point. To express a point in a way that people understand, and to understand a point in the way it needs to be understood. Does that make sense? So yeah. Also, I want to apologize if I'm like breathing heavy and that becomes annoying. Gosh, I really need to get in shape. You know, I used to be in the military. Yep, I was 20 years military, retired Air Force. Used to fix airplanes for a living. But I don't do that anymore. Actually, now I'm a full-time student at the College of Charleston here in Charleston, South Carolina. So, doing that now. And, you know, I don't run anymore. But I am walking. You see? I'm walking. That's the whole point of walking. I'm walking here. Another apology for that, too. If you tuned into this broadcast and you were expecting some metropolitan scenery and guy with a heavy Bronx accent or something like that, yeah, I guess that's a little deceiving. I might have baited some of you in by calling this broadcast that, but either way, like I said, yeah, I used to be military, married, I was gonna say to the same lady. Well, of course it's the same lady, but I guess that's not very common now, so I guess it's not that bad to make that point, you know. Married 20 plus years, same woman, same awesome woman, same awesome, beautiful, patient woman, military spouse, right? For the entire time that we were active duty. God bless her. God bless her. She's still with me too. I don't know. She must love me. I must be doing something right. Her name's Vanessa. We got 4 kids. Ages from young adult to preteen, right? 6th grade. I'm not sure exactly who's going to be watching the thing or if it even matters, but you know, those are my particulars, right? Retired military, full-time college student, 40 plus years old, married 20 plus years, 4 kids, boys and girl, special needs kids, right? All 3 of my boys are on the autism spectrum, so and they're on different parts of the spectrum. I got one that doesn't communicate well. He's delayed communicating wise. I got one who is high functioning and just has he has other issues related to the spectrum, mostly social issues. And then I got one who's completely nonverbal. So, you know, there's a lot of growing up that's been done over the years. A lot of experience that comes with all that stuff, being in the military and being married, having kids, raising a girl, raising boys, all that stuff. But with all those experiences come, you know, thoughts swirl around in my head. I'm a big thinker, so thoughts swirl around in my dome piece, especially when you consider the climate that's going on nowadays. What seems to be the climate in politics, right? Politics is a big one, and I really hate talking politics, but I got a feeling that this thing is going to be a big, like, not necessarily a political rant, but an apolitical rant. Apolitical rant. Apolitical means that you're not for politics, right? But in today's climate, you can't really not be for politics. You just can't. In today's world, you can't not recognize that politics, or the American politics especially, are seem to be playing an even bigger role in a bigger role in like the public When I was younger, I mean, there was politics was around. Like, you knew who the people were, and you knew what was going on. But it was, I don't know, it was like, whatever. Stuff is happening. Stuff is happening in the world. I get it. I understand what side we're on. I understand what side they're on. Blah. But nowadays, it seems like in our own country, my opinion, because of politics, it's like, who's on whose side here? Because it doesn't seem like, to me, that our politicians, our elected officials, they seem to be concerned about other things and not the average Joe like myself. But that is what it is. I still don't necessarily concern myself about it, because I don't feel like it really affects my day to day. My concern is how it affects people. Yeah, I mean, there are some upset people in the world, and I have to have conversations with these people that are upset about X, Y, or Z politically, and I've got friends and I've got family that are on both sides of the table, and I'm trying to understand them, right? Because I think, they're a sample of the greater public, you know what I mean? The greater spectrum of people that exist in this country, right? They're a sample. A person complains, or not necessarily complains, but it's like there seems to be an increased tension, racial tensions in this country, right? On the one side, there seems to be a rise in people claiming that there is white privilege that exists in this country, right? I don't necessarily agree or disagree. I mean, I think that there is maybe some level of privilege which exists in this country, but I don't necessarily equate it to white or black. I equate it to rich and poor. It just so happens that right now, that more people who are affluent are white, and more people that are non-affluent are minorities. But I also believe that in this country we have the means to change our situation. But I will also acknowledge in that same breath that there are a lot of daggum obstacles for people of low income and low and modest means and less than modest means. I will definitely acknowledge that. You end up in the projects. This isn't from reading or hearing stories. This is from knowing people personally, meeting people personally, and talking to those people and understanding their circumstances. You end up in the projects, you end up in low income housing, you end up in these places, and it's very difficult to get out of these places, but there's I have opinions about that too, and I'll express that stuff, and I'll explain that stuff. I'll explain my stance on those issues maybe in later episodes, right? But let's see. How did I fall down that rabbit hole? Well, either way. Oh yeah. A sample. So when I say that that talking to a small number of people could be a sample of a greater public. Excuse me, gosh, sorry about that. It's kind of like it's like simple statistics, right? these people could be these issues that are addressed by anybody. Are they anomalies, or are they legitimate concerns? You know, that concerns that people bring up, issues that different people bring up in this climate, right? Like these, like I use the racial issue, right? Do we still have a racial issue? Is there still an issue of race in this country? Well, enough people are complaining about it, I feel, that maybe it warrants looking into. What and this kind of brings me to the point of this particular medium that I'm trying to create here, is that what I'm trying to express to people who might be dealing with these issues personally, on both sides of the issue, right? Now, well, first let me finish this one point. It is necessary, it's imperative, it is important to the millionth degree to be open and objective about all sides, everything. Am I here? Yeah, okay. Sun's behind me. Too often nowadays, a debate will come up, and they'll call it a debate, but it won't be a debate. It's just, I need to make my side heard, and my side is the right side, and that's it. Period. Dot. I.e., politics. Let's bring up politics again. Conservative versus liberal. Republican versus Democrat. Blue versus... You know, these guys, nowadays, they don't talk to each other. They could really give... I mean, you behind the scenes, I know this for a fact, too. Behind the scenes, there's a lot that happens behind the scenes that we're not aware of. But in the public eye, they don't necessarily admit or openly admit that there is some situations that they're discussing as a team. I think there are issues that should be discussed or that should be addressed where there should be open. There are certain issues that these guys should be coming up and they say, yes, we are on the same page. They don't, I think that there are issues where these guys don't necessarily need to oppose each other and be so, like the venom be so damn thick. You know what I mean? Because that's what I see. That's what I see. I see venom. You know what I mean? And I think that venom trickles down to the public, to those of us down here. And the evidence of that venom is people don't talk to each other anymore. People don't talk to each other anymore because the model in which they're following is that people, you know, they're just following the status quo. And right now the status quo is, I'm not gonna give on my side of any discussion. My side is the right side, your side is the dumb side. I'm right, you're wrong, that's it, period. And no conversation. There's no conversation necessary. That's the point, that's the purpose of this broadcast now, this I guess this channel. I'm going to call it a channel, I guess. I'm not too familiar with the YouTube thing and all that stuff, but I see it as a means and a medium to put out a message and whatever. But I want to try to have discussions and show that it's possible to get through a debate intelligently, have an intelligent conversation. And if I can find resolution on some topics with certain people, or anyone for that matter, then I want to be able to show how to do that. Because I think I can do that. Maybe not with everybody. And maybe not with 100% resolution. No. But I think I can get through conversations in a way that doesn't necessarily reside in the realm of conflict. Does that make sense? I can argue. I can debate. I can converse. I can exchange ideas. I can demonstrate all those things. I think. Maybe I can't. I don't know. But I think somebody should. And maybe somebody after me, somebody will see these videos and maybe, possibly, use it as a platform to move things in a direction where we can start working together. Because I don't think there's a whole lot of that going on. And I think, people are completely and utterly entitled to their opinions. People are entitled to their opinions. My perspective on the American way of life, as a first generation American, right? My dad is from Mexico, immigrated legally. Okay. He is not an illegal resident. He's a legal resident of this country. I'm first generation, and I was raised to believe that the United States of America is the greatest country in the world because it is the land of opportunity. For us, for my family, it wasn't a tagline, right? It wasn't a buzzword. Greatest country in the world. It was none of those things. It was real. The land of opportunity. We were thinking generationally, of course. And not necessarily to be like world changers, but just to be good people, good citizens. And maybe even the use of citizens is incorrect. Maybe it's just good people and responsible people who took care of themselves and took care of our own people, right? Talk about our own families. And that was the focus, right? Make yourself better, set the next generation up to be even better than you were. That should always be the focus, right? And that's how I was raised. There were high expectations for me as an individual, and those expectations, resided within education and hard work. Being able to, take care of yourself and your family. That's essentially it. We were never asked to be world changers. We were just asked to be responsible, and we were expected to be good at whatever we did. Good at it. If you were raised not to settle for mediocrity, that stuff. That's all about having standards. But anyway, my idea of what it means to be an American, to be in America, all hinge around the three things that we all learned about, which is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that's essentially how we were raised. That's what it all hinges on: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Everybody has the right to live their life however they see fit, in whatever way makes them comfortable, right? Whatever way makes them comfortable. Everybody has that right. That is what That's a foundational truth in this country. Everyone has the right to live their life in a way that makes it comfortable, as long as it does not impede on another's liberty, another's ability to live their life and to provide for themselves and their family and their loved ones, right? If I see, as strange as it may be, I'm not saying I'm comfortable with it. I'm not saying I'm comfortable with it. Strange as it may be, I see a man just like a woman. I see a woman just like a man. You know, in today's world, they tell me that that man identifies, right, quote unquote, as a gender other than what they were born as. Whatever. But don't keep me from getting to work, because I got stuff to do. I got bills to pay. You know what I'm saying? I got bills to pay. As long as that dude's not walking in my door and try to take my food out of my refrigerator, try to steal my car, trying to take my wife, trying to abuse my children, as long as that person is not doing that stuff, I don't care. I don't care. And I don't think anybody should care, because that person is living their life, and just because they might be an eyesore to others, because it's different. And I get being different, dude. I barely get it myself. But I recognize that person is a person, and as long as they're not taking money out of my pocket, I don't care. But there are things that I do care about. Like, I'm going to school to be a teacher, right? I care about these kids. You know, kids are, I'm going to wrap this up because I don't like for these things to go too longer than 30 minutes. I think 30 minutes, typically people's attention span only extends up to 3 to 5 minutes. And I'm already going on 27 and a half minutes. So if you've made it this far, God bless you. You must hear something you like. I don't know. But either way, are the people of power and people in general, it's always about, you know, you got to think about the kids. Well, you know that thinking about the kids, most of that junk is lip service. It really is. You gotta be straight up honest. And for me personally, in raising kids in public schools, my own kids in public schools, over the last 20 years, it is apparent to me, it was obvious to me that there was a need. So this is what I'm doing for our kids, for the kids. I'm going to be a teacher because I feel very strongly that our kids don't have enough role models, either as teachers or as parents. I mean, God bless them. I know life is hard. But some of these parents, man, I mean, some of these parents are using that public school system as nothing more than a babysitting thing. Well, you know what? While I got your kids, I want to provide a space for these kids to make them feel needed, wanted, appreciated, because a lot of them don't. I'm telling you from experience, a lot of them don't. You hear it in the way they talk. You see it in the way they act, their behaviors, and that's the parent side. We've all seen teachers who don't care. You know, when I was stationed in Albuquerque, the high school was there in Albuquerque. But if you ever end up in Albuquerque, as tough as it is for me to say this, because I really want our public schools to, I'm at the end of my walk, thank goodness. I really want to see our public schools do better. But right now, it's asking a lot for all of our. I'd really like to see our public schools elevate to a level where you don't have to worry about which school you're checking your kid into, right? But Albuquerque Public Schools in Albuquerque, New Mexico, woo, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. And it was really in Albuquerque where I made up my mind that I wanted to be a school teacher, because when my daughter was in high school, a lot of these teachers were racing the kids to their cars, and to me that didn't seem right. To me it was like, when I was brought up, the teachers were there early and they stayed late. And my daughter had an experience where she was having difficulty in a class, and she's always been told that if she needed extra help in a class, that she offered to stay late, and the teacher wouldn't stay late. And these are the people that are setting the example. They're the closest people to our kids, other than us, the parents ourselves. And this is the example that's being set for them. So I want to be a better example. I want to be at least one good person in a kid's life. That's what I want to be. And if these kids that I'm going to engage with in the future have more than one person, well, then they're going to be that much better off. But if I'm the only person that comes into their lives that can be at least some sort of positive example or something like that, then that's what I'm going to be. Okay, so this is the pilot episode of I'm Walking Here. I'm live. I don't know when I'll be doing this. Frequently, we'll be recording these things at least once a week. My goal. Once every 2 weeks. Hopefully not once a month. But once a week is what I'm shooting for. Once every 2 weeks will be, once every 2 weeks is probably more realistic. Once a month will be at a bare minimum once a month. But I'd like to do them more frequently. This is an opportunity for me to unload issues, and this is an opportunity to talk through other issues. And I don't know how I do this, but I think that while I'm live, I could have live discussions with people. And I don't know if it'll be I don't think it can be like a call or nothing like that, but people can text or chat or whatever, and I can respond to it. Whatever, either way. But that's what I would like to do with this thing. Okay? So I thanks to anyone who might have watched this video. This is the pilot episode. So I think I am going to do this. I'm going to give this a shot. I look forward to hearing from anyone, if anyone at all. I got to go pick up my son from school. But you guys take care of yourselves. God bless.